Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk some of the latest Disney news, and I let AI decide what our topic is going to be for the rest of the show. This is Traveling with the Mouse. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 401 of Traveling with the Mouse. I'm your host this week, and I am joined today by John.
I am not your mother. Break those plates.
Little Midway Mania action. Sarge.
I'll never use that one.
Well, Mother's Day is coming up, so I guess that's a good way to say
a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, a little early, but it'll work. So, yeah, it's just the two of us this episode. Jason is in California as we speak, but not Disneyland, so...
he's actually in California as we speak.
Well, as you hear this, he's in California.
So he's in California as you hear, not as we speak.
Most likely. So we're going to just do some news and, like I said, randomly put some instructions, if you'd say, in Chat GPT.
It's like, give me some ideas, Chat GPT.
Yeah, so it came up with a little game that we're going to play. We'll see if it's worthy of anything or not.
I'm not sure I want to play games, but okay.
Well, we'll see how it goes. It might be pretty short. You're going to be the contestant at this point since you're the only other one here.
I'm the only other, so I'm the contestant. Okay.
On this game.
Okay, well, it depends on the game, so I guess we'll find out when we get there.
Yeah. So how's that for a teaser? Stay tuned for this fascinating
game that we have no idea whether it's going to be good or not. Yeah.
We'll find out together. So one of the things that happened is Mickey's Not So Halloween party tickets.
It's not so Halloween.
Mickey's Not So...
So it's not really a Halloween party.
Yes.
It's not so Halloween.
Well, it's not really Halloween in August, but...
Well, it is in Disney World. It's
not so scary Halloween party. Tickets are going on sale starting May 2nd for the general public. If you're a resort guest during any of those dates, you can already book. But, I mean, as you're hearing this, it's available for everybody, so... I'm sure we'll hear soon which ones have sold out and which ones haven't.
Yeah. I'm sure the first night will probably sell out if it can, just based on people wanting to talk about it. Everybody wants to be first, so.
Yeah. But this year is a little different because there's one on November 1st this year.
Just trying to squeeze one more party in.
Right. Because usually they've turned it over into Christmas, November 1st, Anyway.
So are you going to jump on and buy your tickets?
No.
Why not?
I have no desire to at this point.
I don't really have a desire for any of those parties, truthfully, at the moment. So
yeah, not at the moment. But if I have a trip planned, I don't have anything planned for the latter part of the year yet. So if I do, I would consider it, but it's better to go earlier in the year. But listen, the first one is August 11th, Friday, August 11th, and the price for that one is $149.
Wow.
$139 for kids 3 to 9. That would be the only one that my 9-year-old is eligible for, because after that he will be 10, so he's an adult at that point.
Or at least as far as Disney is concerned.
He's an adult. But the next several parties are $109 and $99 for kids, so they're a little bit more reasonable. But gone are the $79 or $75 days, whatever they were at one point. Long gone.
And it doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
It wasn't.
So the thing is, Disney doesn't really have an excuse for going this outrageous. They were already well ahead of inflation anyway, so,
They're just jumping even more onto it now.
Well, they're just doing it because people are paying it, truthfully. That's more or less. Because, they're not having any trouble selling it, at least not so far. we'll see if it continues that way. But
right. So the lower cost, if you're going anytime after September 1st, the lowest you're going to pay is $119, and the price just goes up the closer and closer you get to Halloween. So anything in October, the cheapest is $149 on October 1st. And then after that, it's basically either $169, $189, or $199. So $200 a person for a Halloween party.
And the thing is, we've seen in more recent times, I forgot how last year's was.
Yeah.
But once upon a time when you would pay whatever the extra was, it really felt exclusive. Now it doesn't. I mean, I know they still have a limited number, but they have increased the number that they sell, and therefore it's not as, what's the word? It's not as low capacity, not as low a crowds as it once was for these type of events.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, it's still like, you're not going to have super long waits for anything except maybe some character meets and stuff. But this will be the first year Tron is going to be a part of it, right? So they may have.
Okay, that might help some people that are not getting. I mean, you're still going to have to get a virtual queue for the party.
I have no idea. Probably not. I would think.
I would hope not.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Although, I mean, it wouldn't shock me. You have to get in line for the party queue, just like you do the after hours events. You know how it has a special queue for Guardians and such.
Right.
It's probably going to have a special queue for the party. Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
So,
you never know.
So with the prices being where they are, this is just my thinking. If I were going to do it at all, and if I were planning a vacation and I wasn't like a pass holder or anything, I think my strategy would be to take either the first day or last day of my trip and let that be the party day and not include it in my ticket pack. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not do a ticket.
That was
for those
a common strategy, yeah, because you can get in at 4 p.m. if you have the party ticket. So you have 4 to midnight.
Right, 4 to midnight. So you're going to get 8 hours right there and hopefully a little less wait times either way.
Right.
Depending on what you go to. So
yeah,
that would probably be the ideal strategy in today's world because they cost just as much as a day ticket, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's the real issue.
Right. And speaking of pass holder and DVC, if you have that, you can get $10 off per ticket on select nights. So I doubt that includes Halloween or November 1st, but
right
on select nights you can get $10 off. That's not it's not great, but it's something. Yeah. So there's your discount.
I guess we'll see we'll see here in just a matter of like 3 months or so.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Right. I mean, it's almost Halloween
as to what
season.
It's going to be, right?
Yeah. We're almost entering the Halloween 3-month period of Halloween.
I guess. But we'll see exactly what the party is like, I guess, has to offer through vloggers and what have you.
Yeah.
I've just had trouble like seeing what you get and justifying it just because of what I've seen in the past, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they keep increasing the price, but not adding very much to it. So it doesn't feel like there's any much of a value. That's just my thinking.
Right.
And
some of the earlier ones, they are, cheaper, but when you're talking August, you may have thunderstorms and rainouts and stuff like that you have to deal with. As far as I know, they don't give you any kind of refund for rain.
Probably want to not to choose a hot costume if you're gonna dress up at all.
Right.
I've never dressed up for these things personally, not so far. But
I've not worn like a full costume, but I have kind of done like a light costume.
Really? Like what'd you do that was light?
Piratey. Jason and I did a piratey costume.
But try. Well, I mean, you're not supposed to full on look like another character if you anyway. So
right, exactly.
You're not supposed to look like something that will confuse people.
But there's 30% discount on lightsabers at Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities.
Oh yeah, I did
Now's your
see that.
chance if you want to get some.
And that was on the what was it? That was on a certain hilt, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, because like you could get the reforged Luke Skywalker, the original. Well, I guess it would be Anakin's, the original blue lightsaber. My father had one of these.
Right.
Yeah, the Count
Yes, that was
Dooku.
your father's.
The Count Dooku curved one. I always liked that one.
The curved one.
Yeah,
All right.
reminds me of something.
Yeah.
Shadow Maul, which I'm not sure what that one is, and the Darth Maul, but Darth Maul you have to like do both sides. Darth Sidious has a pretty cool lightsaber hilt. But yeah, 30% off.
So 30% off would make it how much? What is it? What is it up
Most
to now?
of them are in the like these hilts are just shy like 150 to 200 bucks.
Wow.
So somewhere in there.
Wow. Still pretty expensive.
Depending on the price, but that's 30% off that. I think you get the carrying case. It's a little bit better of a one than you get at the lightsaber building experience.
Okay. So I wonder, is the reason that they're offering this discount has the sales of sabers cooled from when Galaxy's Edge was initially?
Possibly. That's what I'm thinking.
That, or they're just kind of figuring they need to offer at least a little something
Throw a
to
bone.
entice, yeah, or that too. So,
And speaking of the lightsaber, Savi's Workshop, so where you actually build the custom lightsabers, they have a whole new designs now of the pieces. So if you can refresh which I think is probably good, right? Because if you built several at this point, what's the point of building another one? But they've refreshed all the parts so that you can have different looking lightsaber hilts, which I kind of like the way these look more than the one I built 4 years ago. So, but oddly enough, the price is $249.99 for this experience. When I thought, didn't we talk in the news several months ago that Disneyland's dropped their price to like $219 or something, or $209, or
I thought it was under $200
or $199. It may have been, yeah. So why? I guess it's more popular at Disney World to build lightsabers than Disneyland.
Well, as we've mentioned before, with it being a locals park, you're probably not going to get as many people.
Repeat customers.
Right. Yeah. Not going to get as many repeat customers. After a while, it's going to be, it's kind of what I've said with the Star Cruiser. After a while, you've kind of, everybody who was your target audience. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Star Wars has a wide fan base. It's still a limited fan base.
Right. But also
when it's all said and done.
Base with deep pockets,
Yeah. That part's that's even more limited. Right. So I don't mean to shift gears away from it, but I want to make sure we said it. Last week with Maleficent, we kind of covered that, right? Whenever it was, I think we did.
Caught on fire?
Did we not? Maybe we
didn't. I
don't
know if that happened since we recorded the last episode, so let's talk about it.
Oh, well.
I
thought maybe it did.
And burned to a crisp.
It was like the day we released the episode or something like that, so maybe we didn't.
Yeah.
The dragon from the Fantasmic show in Disneyland was coming up to its... Did you ever see that video where it shows like the very end, how it's almost like whenever it was supposed to cast a flame, how the flame like really didn't cast or whatever it seemed like?
Yeah.
Like it was very short flame from the side. Did you see that one?
Yes. I saw several angles.
Yeah, it's almost like there's something that malfunctioned there, and it's almost like I don't know if it's like the gas or whatever it is that causes the flame to come out, kind of got trapped right up around the head.
Yeah, and then it started, and then it looks like, it just burned up all of it, like, very quickly. It's, once it hit the gas line.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
The whole thing went up quick. There's lots of video of it.
Yeah, fortunately nothing exploded or anything over there.
Right.
I guess obviously there's nothing in it that would cause that, but
right. But there are a lot of trees over there and stuff that you would, got close to it, but
Well, what I was going to mention is, as a result of that, Disney World has suspended the fire breathing effect from Maleficent in the Festival of Fantasy Parade.
Right.
So
Which
it is
makes
apparently,
sense.
yeah. I guess they just want to say, hey, maybe we should check these things out, especially since that's had
That caught
wasn't the
fire,
one
yeah.
in it had an incident, but not to this degree.
No, but it definitely caught fire, and the whole head piece was like pretty
Damaged.
burned
Yeah.
and melted almost. It didn't completely engulf in flames like this one did at Disneyland, but
Yeah. Well,
still.
well, okay. So if it bottom line is, it's a kind of a cool effect, but if it comes down to it, I mean, seriously, do you really have to have the fire? I mean, maybe in Phantasmic it works, but just change Phantasmic to be like it is in Florida and have Jafar
Right.
instead. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I mean, it does kind of make you go, well, there's something mechanically dangerous about this dragon, because if it's similar to the one at the parade, then obviously they're concerned. This has happened twice now. So there's obviously something that needs to be addressed.
They're going to go back to using it at some point. You know why?
Why?
Because Diagon Alley has a dragon that breathes fire, so
right.
they have to have a dragon that breathes fire. So
Right. And it is a cool effect, though. It does look awesome when they do it. But I guess they're just going to have to try and add some additional safety features to it to make sure that it doesn't happen
I suppose.
again. Yeah. So yeah, no parade breathing fire part. And then
no parade breathing fire. Okay.
That was a great sentence I just put together.
Yes. You're doing well.
Yeah, I'm half asleep at the moment. FYI, it's been a long weekend. But Phantasmic at Disneyland is going to be suspended for at least 3 additional weeks. This happened on April 22nd.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it won't be back until at least May 14th, 15th, somewhere in there. Maybe longer, according to the current schedule. So May 15th would be the first possible return for Phantasmic at Disneyland. Meanwhile, you can see it at Hollywood Studios, because as you're listening to this, it's back from its short refurb. Is that what they're trying to refurbish? Is like make sure Jafar doesn't catch on fire at Hollywood Studios?
He doesn't have fire in his act, does he?
Well, there's fire definitely in it, but I don't think
he doesn't breathe fire.
He doesn't like catch on fire or breathe fire.
Yeah, there's no fire coming out of Jafar.
He's lost his fire.
Yes.
He has no fire. That's why he lost.
Yeah, I mean, he could spit venom, I guess. That would.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
Well, let's see. Layoffs have happened this week. 4,000 people so far, I think.
Who has been laid off, though? Like what departments?
I don't know. Not frontline cast members, from what we tell.
It's not like being thrown out there. Maybe this whole lawsuit with DeSantis is a way that both parties are distracting people. Like Disney's distracting people from who they're firing, and DeSantis is distracting people from the bills he's passing.
Right. So. They're all kind of doing that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I'm just saying it's mutually beneficial.
It's all part of the show.
Right.
So D23 is one of the departments that got hit. 25% of that entire department. I don't know how many employees it is.
So how much is D23 going to be affected coming up? He was like, you know what? We don't really have anything for the next D23, so we might as well just cut that department out.
Yeah, let's at least gut it.
Let's just cut those guys out until it comes time.
Yeah. So D23, maybe now's a good time to join, because they might forget to whoever was in charge of like making sure the payments went through or something.
They're just going to start charging for every level.
Yeah, that's true.
Even entry level.
Or maybe now's the time to do it before they raise the price or something again. But anywho,
how much is the gold membership now? I don't even know.
It's or like is the gold one we have $129 a year or something like that?
Gosh,
the standard. Right?
And you get
not much.
Yeah.
No, you get access to stuff. That's basically what you're paying for, I think.
Yeah, you're paying to be a part of a fan club.
Yeah, you get 10% discount at Uniqlo as a D23 member.
Ooh,
so
I would use that up.
Yeah, I mean, it pays for itself.
Oh,
Anyway, okay, so let's obviously talk about the latest in the Reedy Creek thing, because as we left off last time, they were going to nullify what Disney had done. So, Disney did the last minute kind of, well, they say last minute, but Disney knew what they were going to do. And they did this before the new board took over. They made this contract. Now the state has nullified said contract. And now Disney has sued the state of Florida and the governor and the new board specifically for basically violation of First Amendment rights or retaliation based on First Amendment, free speech, that kind of thing.
I got to be honest. I had to go and look up as to whether if that really applied to corporations, which it does. But I did have to go and look it up myself because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard enough to know. I mean, again, we're not lawyers,
I would
everybody, but
I
big
would think
shock.
that I would think obviously if they knew whether or not they could do that. So
Yeah, they have a decent case. Obviously, I mean, we'll just see how it goes. I mean, they have a case.
the thing is, both sides have points in this. When I say that, the other side has the point of I think the response to this. What was it? Something like a business doesn't have a right to be special or something like that. I can't remember how it was worded.
Well, the funny thing to me is that the talking point from the governor and his folks is, Disney deserves to be on the level playing field with everybody else. But it's like, but if you're specifically putting a board that you're controlling on top of them, that's not the same as everybody else.
That part's not.
You're not leveling the playing field. You're making it
So the
harder for
question
Disney.
is, if is that in place to work towards the complete dissolution of the whole district and let it be just like everybody else?
Well, they couldn't dissolve it. They wanted to, but they couldn't dissolve it.
All right, so this is the next best thing, I guess.
Well, in his mind, it's
you
the
know
next
what I mean.
best thing.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
what I
it's
meant.
like,
That's what I meant. When this is all said and done, I think it's one of those type things where a lot of money is going to be spent and nobody's going to win.
well,
That's my thinking.
I think
I think
gonna
they're
be
both.
hard
I
to
think they're
say.
both going to lose.
Well, I think in that sense you're probably right because Disney wants everything back to the way it was. Like
Not
they
going to
want
happen.
right. It's like how I feel like they'll probably win the case in general, like as a First Amendment case, whatever. They'll probably win that in the long run. But getting all of the stuff reversed and turned back to Reedy Creek Improvement District and put the original board back in place and all that seems unlikely to me that all that could happen based on this. But I mean, it seems possible still. It just seems like a far fetched. I feel like somewhere in the middle is where ultimately it's gonna end up.
I don't know what all is specifically named in the suit. I have not
I've read
bothered.
Disney's statement or whole
Right.
what do you call it, the suit. It's 20 something pages, I think. I read through it, and it's they list specific quotes from the governor about why it's retaliatory, and
Well, it's no question he did make it personal because that's how this
yeah.
came about.
I mean, a lot of what he said is I mean, it's pretty much saying that like directly. So they can use his own words against him, but again, the question is, will it be enough to get back the original board that they had and everything? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be enough for that, but I think they have enough to win the case
I don't
and
know.
drag this out, but
Yeah.
let's see
We'll
how
see.
it goes. Yeah. So apparently they dug into some stuff about the judge, Judge Mark Walker.
The current one or the one that had to recuse himself?
Yeah, it says he'll be the judge presiding over the Disney lawsuit against DeSantis. And he's apparently there was another statement he made about the Stop Woke Act, basically referencing the Stranger Things as a way of saying that, Florida he sees things like upside down in terms of First Amendment rights. So anyway, I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but so it sounds like what they're trying to say, Blog Mickey, is that this judge seems like he'll be pretty favorable towards Disney on this, but we'll see. Obviously,
Right.
it remains to be seen. But I think they're trying to paint that picture that he's going to be more favorable towards Disney, but based on some things he said in the past.
We'll see.
Long story short.
I mean, I don't know how long a case like this would take, but
yeah, I don't. It's a good question too. I was wondering, and the way that they filed it, obviously they're trying to halt anything that the state's doing.
They filed it in a federal court too, which is interesting because I don't know if that's going to be pointed out or make some sort of a difference because of real estate being involved. I don't know how that's going to work. Although their case has to do with First Amendment, so that part should work.
Makes sense that it would be federal. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Obviously, they know why they did it.
However, even if they prove that, I mean, there's as far as what the government does as far as Reedy Creek. I mean, they could still technically do it. I mean, if you prove that it was retaliatory, I mean, it doesn't mean they can undo some things because of that. If you think about it, the violation of the First Amendment rights does not stop them from saying, "Well, we want you to be the same as everyone else," as he claims anyway. So, I mean, even if you prove that's the reason, does it really stop the act? Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know. Yeah. We'll see.
Right. This will obviously be a story we keep talking about because it's going to keep coming up over and over and over again. So
the sad thing when this is all said and done is it's probably going to cost the taxpayers of Florida money either way. Yeah. So it's likely to. I'm not going to say it will for sure, but it's likely to.
Yeah. And there's mounting pressure on the governor's side to kind of figure something out here. You're dragging it.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, what was it? Who was it? McCarthy that said, they should at least talk.
Yeah. Right.
They haven't even done that. The two sides haven't even come to the table.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like so.
A lot of times this is what it takes is to get to this level, and it's like, okay, let's figure something out here.
It almost sounds like this is a tensions with a foreign country almost.
I don't get the sense that DeSantis is going to even take any step back because it would be a sign of weakness for his fledgling presidential hopes at this point. That's what it looks like. But yeah, so I don't know that he would.
Well, he's kind of already made his bed, so
that's what I'm saying. Is like, yeah, he's not going to meet in the middle and negotiate at this point.
Although I think some people might like to see them actually come to the table. But
yeah, I mean, seeing as how he got married at Disney and all that.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Clearly, he's a Disney fan. I think he was at one point.
This is probably his wife influencing all of this. That's what it is.
Starting all this?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because she didn't want to get married at Disney?
No. I'm just saying she's probably a Disney fan. She's probably a fan of the way Disney was type deal.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, they got married, 2009, I think it was, at Disney, so it wasn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things. But
no, but it wasn't. It was different than it is now. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, it just shows you, though, it's this. He thought this would be an easy kind of political win, and it's kind of turned out to be a little more of a bigger hill to climb than I think he thought.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what it is. But now it's like, well, I've gone this far. I can't stop now, or else it's going to blow up in his face.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, we'll see how this all plays out. It's probably going to be a while.
But again, Disney could have handled this better too. I mean, it's not saying Disney is like, the best at this, but they could have handled this better and not gotten to this point. But Chapek was at the helm back then.
Yeah,
so wasn't the best leader.
Well, I mean, if this was one of the supposed things that needed to be undone, then it should have been addressed before now.
Yeah.
quite frankly. I mean, if that supposedly is one of the things that should have been undone, as we so say, I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is that Iger has undone of Bob Chapek so far. I mean, he's already had at least 6 months. I
Yeah.
don't even see a step in a direction of undoing anything that supposedly was Chapek's idea.
Well, he's laying off a bunch of people and they're restructuring. So I think he's doing a lot. It's just we don't see all
Didn't
the.
Chapek lay off people?
I don't remember him laying off this many.
Okay.
I think Iger's really tightening things up to.
Either way, the more that I've looked at this thing, and again, I'm not trying to make excuses for Chapek at all. I think Chapek was a fall guy. I think all this they saw coming up, they saw it happening, and it was like, hey, we'll let you be CEO now. And then all of this starts to come to fruition, and then they know that he is not capable of speaking very well when it comes to such things on top of that.
Man,
And they used him as a fall guy to get a lot of this stuff, because all these prices and stuff in place that Iger is supposedly, it needs to be more affordable. He's doing nothing about it.
yeah,
He
they
is
took
doing
one
absolutely
step.
nothing about it.
Well, they've taken one step, meaning
The
like
parking.
the parking.
Okay.
And what was the other thing?
Which when was who? Well, I say, when did they first implement that?
No,
when
it was like
Bob
January.
Iger was CEO.
Yeah. Well, right, sure.
You see what I'm saying?
He
He's
rolled
not
back. I know.
So really, he
repealed
didn't
his
roll. He
own
rolled
thing.
back his implementation, not
But
not Chapek's.
they also have pretty extensive hotel discounts going on.
I mean, that looks more like an Iger era. The way the structure of what's available.
There's a few things kicking around, but again, yes, it's not a lot.
Right.
And the fact that the Genie Plus price skyrocketed during spring break is not what I'm. Yeah.
I don't buy that Bob Iger's the good guy. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, you don't seem
I never
to be
did.
a big fan.
I never did buy that he's the good guy. Well, I was speaking of, what was it, the Diz or whatever it was. There was back when he was still at the helm, he referred to the two Bobs, right, as being horrible human beings over something. I forgot what it was now. Not just Chapek. So
I don't know. I like Iger much better. Obviously, I mean he's way better than Chapek was.
That's because he comes across as more likable, but he's still what he says and what he does.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm going to give him a little more time than this, but I think he did a pretty good job.
He's not going to have time. They're going to be giving it over to someone else.
Yeah, well, you know how it goes. He tried to retire like 8 times and he couldn't. And then, anyway.
Okay, so the next time he retires, it's going to be to a graveyard.
Well,
pretty much. I was gonna say, what is he, 72? So he's closer to the end than he is the beginning. That's for sure.
Yeah, he could go for 20 more years if he had to.
Is he gonna be the frozen head?
I don't know, but it's interesting to think about. Right? Is Walt didn't really leave a successor. You know, he kind of left a big hole, a vacuum where he was, and Iger clearly hasn't been able to come up with a good successor either.
Yeah.
So,
how many of the CEOs that have been at the helm of the Walt Disney Company, right?
Yeah.
How many have positioned themselves as the face of the company? Walt's a given.
Yeah.
How many between Walt and Michael Eisner, who put himself in the position of making himself the face of the company?
Yeah.
Can you honestly say you even know what they look like?
Well,
I guess Roy, but obviously he didn't stay very long.
I know what Ron Miller looks like. Card Walker, I can tell you what he looked like. Right, most people would not know.
It's like the owners of a sports franchise.
Yeah.
Only the guys that are true egomaniacs do you know who they are, like a Jerry Jones, right? You don't have a clue who the rest are. So, and like it's the same way in the theme park industry. I wouldn't know the SeaWorld CEO if he walked up to me. Same way with Universal, any of the other parks. I wouldn't know who they were or who their predecessors were. And when it comes to Disney, the main people who you know their face, Walt, Michael, and now Iger, and of course Chapek because they put him in that position, and he was like they were side by side on TV.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know Chapek for the wrong reasons. You know Iger, Eisner, and Walt for mostly good reasons, right?
well,
In general.
my point being, you don't always CEOs of companies do not always put themselves in the spotlight in this manner. That was all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Right on. Yeah. True.
So let's just move along.
And now for a quick commercial break.
Calling all parents. Meet the Family Cash Card, Greenlight's newest credit card for parents. You can earn up to 3% cash back on every dollar spent. No limits, no categories, no hassle. No kidding. You can choose to auto-invest your cash back to pay for your kids' college. Apply it to your balance, or send your cash back straight to your wallet. It's basically cash back your way, every day. Get started today at greenlight.com.
And now, back to the show.
Yeah, so one thing that happened as we're recording this is the Disney Wish got stuck in Nassau for an extra night in port.
The horror.
Yeah. Well, I don't think...
If
I
you're
don't
on
know
the cruise.
Right. Were you allowed to get off, though? I don't think so. Are we at that point?
No, but I mean, the issue that it was having just kept it from leaving. It didn't keep it from functioning.
Well, it kept it from going to Castaway Cay this following day. So I assume it... I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah,
So did they get ripped off?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know.
So
I don't know if I would be pretty ticked if I was going on an itinerary that included Nassau and Castaway Cay, and the one that I had to miss was Castaway Cay.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would not want to miss Castaway Cay. So, but there was a mechanical issue, according to what they communicated to the guests, and they needed extra time to fix whatever this mechanical issue was. According to some on Twitter, the ship left at 10 a.m. on April 30th. And, well, actually, that's what they said. It actually left around 11 a.m. So an hour later than they said, but it was still supposed to leave the day before and be at Castaway Cay that morning, and it wasn't. So I don't know if they just had to go back to Canaveral. I'm assuming, right? Isn't that the schedule where it would be Monday?
I haven't been able to read up on this one yet, so
yeah.
I'm not.
This one's kind of just happening as we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So not 100% clear on that.
Right.
But it looks like they were offering them 20% discount on future cruises and $100 onboard credit and that kind of thing.
So wait a minute. Is that not the deal that they offer for booking a cruise while you're on the cruise? Is that the exact same offer? Is it not? Or is that an extra 10% off of
I think
the offer?
Is it 10 or 15%? This
Maybe
is a little
it's 10
higher
normally, and they added an extra 10.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
The onboard credit was the same. I mean, I recognize that number.
Right, but it said they canceled the fireworks as well for that night. It says we're pleased to share that we rescheduled our fireworks show for today, weather permitting.
Okay.
And Castaway Cay. Yeah, so the itinerary has been modified and the ship will not call on Castaway Cay today. So it looks like they had to miss it completely. Eesh. So
yeah, I would definitely want some compensation on that one.
Yeah, people are going to be really upset about that one. Especially a new ship, too. Like, this ship's less than a year old in terms of...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the specific of what took place or what happened, but... I just made the comment before we went on air. I was like, I don't recall hearing of anything like this with the previous 4 ships.
Yeah.
I guess ever. The biggest incident I remember having was that time the Dream backed into the dock at Nassau that time. Yeah. That's the biggest incident I remember with it, but
right. Yeah.
Nothing mechanically that I can think of.
Right.
Speaking of cruises.
Oh, what about it?
You want a land cruise? If you're a Disney Visa card member, you can get a discount.
On the
Star Cruiser.
Star Cruiser, yeah.
That's what it says.
You mean a space cruise?
Yeah, space cruise. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's not really on land.
Yeah. That's where you lost me. I was like, what?
Yeah. But apparently, what was it? It was not that long ago. Who was it that got 30%? AP? Did they get
Yeah, I
30%?
think.
So now they've
started-
extended
yeah,
it to Disney Visa card
Visa.
holders. Yeah.
for select ones. Again, it's still not in the price range where I would want to book one yet, but even with 30% off, but that's probably
Well,
the best you're going to get.
It's kind of like a negotiation, right? I mean, you always start high, and then you have to back up to when you're to
Right.
the number you're actually going to get, right? So I
Right.
don't want to discount it too much to start with. They just have to. That's why they phased it. They started with you have to go with that. What was it? There was something where you got 50% for going with a cast member,
Right.
and then they did the AP, and now we've gotten down to card holders, Disney Visa card holders. So what's next? What's
don't
the
know.
next level? You're
I
gonna
mean,
offer
this-
general public discounts.
That would be the next step, I would think. Yeah.
The next, I couldn't call it progression. It's more like a digression.
Doesn't this sound like an Iger thing? Since you were talking about that earlier, this sounds more to me like, hey, we're not selling it out. Let's discount it. Versus, sounds like Chapek was like, we're gonna raise the price if you're not booking it, just to screw you even more.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Star Cruiser is kind of hard to say because it came to fruition under his tenure, and it was
Yeah.
brand new under his tenure. So it never got to the point where they were starting to discount it just yet. They started canceling voyages, I think.
Right? They were downsizing it, whatever.
Yeah,
But
I think they still did that.
right, to me, that sounds like stuff Iger's doing to try and figure out a way to make this profitable. But
I just want to know how long it's going to be before they just do like they've done with Galaxy's Edge and give up on the original idea and go with, hey, it's a Star Wars themed hotel. The
Yeah.
issue there, though, is what are they going to do about the size of it if they make it like that? Because it's
Yeah.
very limited number of rooms.
yeah, not a lot. I don't know what you do at that point.
Yeah.
Do you you gotta add a pool if you're gonna turn it into a resort? So how are you gonna do all that?
At a space pool.
Yeah, an indoor pool maybe. Indoor pool. Wait, an indoor
An
pool.
indoor pool.
A pool
Oh,
on indoor.
Very nice.
Very cool.
Honestly, they might consider retheming it to a classic Star Wars theme, and it might actually do better before they go that route. I don't know. Just a thought. The new stuff has C and bead.
Since you're hating on Iger so much,
Oh, I'm not hating on Iger. I'm calling it like I see it.
you're an Iger hater.
I mean, he just comes in and everybody treats him like he's the best thing since sliced bread. I just don't think he's as great
Yeah.
as everybody thinks. He's done some good things,
Yeah.
but I mean, he's not. I mean, I just don't think he's as different. I think a lot of this stuff that people blame Chapek for, he was a fall guy. I mean, I'm not saying that Chapek's all that great either, but I'm just saying I think he turned out to be a fall guy in this case. So companies do this stuff, don't they? I mean, they do. They set people up for failure on purpose.
Well, it seemed like it took a lot to get Chapek out of there. Like he had to screw up a lot more than they probably wanted him to.
They had to wait until the stock price
Opportune
actually took a
moment.
drop.
Wait
Yeah,
for
well,
the
they just they couldn't go out and justifiably do it until he made a terrible call. What was it? Earnings call, and the stock price was going down. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to fire someone when things are on the way up still. So I mean, yeah, it was just the thing is he didn't even get like a opportunity to correct it. It was like the moment it went downhill. I mean,
Right.
that kind of tells you right there.
Yeah.
By
By all means, kill the whelp. Just
something like that.
not yet.
Right.
Right.
There you go.
And then I guess that was the opportune moment. After he screwed so much stuff up, he finally killed the whelp.
You've been watching a lot of Pirates lately, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. The original, of course.
And I watched River Pirates actually. So
Oh, really?
in a way, I've watched Pirates.
Nice. So, speaking of movies, I was just going to kind of close out this part with talking about some of them. We have not watched Peter Pan and Wendy yet, but I've heard
No.
really bad things about that one.
Interesting.
I'd say mixed reviews to say a little nicer.
Well, what's the stuff you've heard? Because I haven't really.
I've
even
just heard
checked.
that the story is very odd and that it's just like this movie seems very unnecessary. I've heard stuff like that.
Yeah.
I forgot what else. It was just, I don't remember. It just wasn't an entertaining movie. That's what a lot of people I've heard say too.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
When it comes to recent
lately.
Disney films, I don't know what the problem is. If creative is the heart and soul, then that needs to improve.
Yeah, I've heard about a lot saying the acting is really bad, except for, I'm trying to think, the actress that plays Tinkerbell, Yara
I don't know.
Shahidi, I think's her name. Yeah, apparently she's kind of the highlight of the movie, but otherwise it's kind of... Wait, but Jude Law, I think Jude Law, a lot of people say he was pretty good.
Who did Jude Law play?
Captain Hook.
Ah.
So we'll see. But I may watch it. I probably won't. But what about other movies coming out? Like Guardians is coming out soon.
That one stands a chance because they've all
Yeah.
been good so far. So
Right.
and James Gunn is involved. So
Right. Yeah. I want to see that one. The Little Mermaid is coming out soon too, right?
it's I don't know about that one. I'll see how well it does. It had
Right.
some
Another live action
It's
remake.
had some criticisms already as well, but I mean, with even before it even gets started. But oddly enough, the very first thing that I don't know, it might have been when I saw the first preview, I thought it might have been a little bit nitpicky, I guess. But they talked about how like it didn't look like you were underwater or something like that, like how bad the effect was for being underwater or something. I don't know. I think we're really spoiled in some ways nowadays when it comes to effects and stuff like that. But they make comparisons to not doing as well as someone else, so I don't know. It's one that I would watch. I say it's one that I would watch. The thing is, has all of these remakes and redos and anything's ever worked out? It's almost like what was Bob Iger's position under Michael Eisner? Because I'm starting to feel like he was maybe directly responsible for the direct to DVD sequels that they did during that time period.
He started... I don't know.
Because it seems like that's continued.
ABC.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that was a big thing, in the 90s, was all the direct-to-DVD sequels. I feel like we're just keeping doing that, sort of. Like we just keep rehashing these things. So
Yeah. I was looking through... Because, he was with ABC. That's kind of where he came into the picture for Disney, was ABC, but...
So he came from television, which is very
Yeah.
Eisner-esque.
Yeah, it looks so that he was there until when Disney bought ABC in 95. Iger was named president of Disney in 2000 and succeeded Michael Eisner in 2005. So really he came in from the ABC side when Disney acquired them in 96. And he, I guess quickly, within 5 years, moved up to president of the company.
So what's going to be the link with the new CEO whenever they come in? Because so far we've gone from, I say that when it comes to names because we went from an Eisner to an Iger.
Yeah.
And then we went from a Bob to a Bob. So
Right.
what's the next connection? Is it
I
going
don't
to be
know.
Rob?
Yeah.
Because it's similar?
Maybe.
There's
We
gonna
need
be
some
a Rob
sort of...
somebody?
I don't know. Instead of robbing the guests. Yeah.
Or is there a similar name to Iger?
Maybe. We'll have to find
Geiger?
out.
No, I don't know.
Could be. Maybe that's the link. The missing link.
The link.
Maybe it should be Link. Someone named Link.
I think we're just tired now at this point.
We're dragging. I was going to say, since you're still trying to figure out what Iger has done, a
Go
lot
ahead.
of what
Hit
I've
me with something.
heard is behind the scenes that Imagineering has, I guess the morale has improved because...
I could see that. I wouldn't question that.
And I think that there's more mobility now on that side. I think I wouldn't call Iger creative, but I think he likes to let the creative people do what they do. And I don't get that sense from Chapek. He was more of like he wanted to call the shots. At least that's what it felt like to me. But again, I'm just observing this from the outside. But
Well, we'll see what creative comes up with.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to say something like Creative was going to come up with an original idea for an attraction or something. And it does.
Perhaps that could happen.
That hasn't happened in 17 years, 18 years.
Right.
So
let's. Okay, so we're moving on. We have I'll take a few minutes for this. AI, I promised at the beginning. So AI, I asked the AI out there to come up with a game.
AI. Oh, wait, that was EI. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, different. I didn't ask Nelly. I asked ChatGPT to come up with a game that we could play on this episode. And the game it came up with was called Guess the Attraction. So
Guess the Attraction.
I'm going to describe an attraction at a Disney park without using the name, and you have to guess it.
I don't know how riveting this will be, but we'll give it a shot.
Okay. So this is an attraction at a Disney park.
Ooh.
It has bright, colorful colors.
Wow.
In an outdoor environment. I can't say that either.
Well, so far you've really narrowed it down.
It's fast-paced and thrilling, but still suitable for most ages. Any guesses yet?
Okay. Colorful, outdoors,
thrilling.
Thrilling.
Mm-hmm.
Suitable for most guests.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of throwing me off with the
bright color thing.
Yes, in a way. Bright colors and thrilling.
During the ride, riders experience thrilling drops, tight turns, and even a brief launch.
Slinky Dog?
Yes, that's the one. Slinky Dog Dash, por favor.
I don't really... I guess I associate that with bright colors. I don't know what I was thinking with bright colors.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to try another one.
Did you come up with the bright colors thing, or is that something that...
It did, actually. It said...
Interesting.
Bright and colorful track.
I don't see where it's any more bright and colorful than anything else. That's the thing. I mean, well...
It's a bright red. It's pretty bright red.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I guess when I was thinking that, I guess I was thinking more colorful when I was thinking. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. This is an iconic attraction.
Okay.
I'm going to say that. It's dimly lit.
Space Mountain.
Yes. Well done. It could have been any dark ride, but I was, it
was the first thing I went with.
Yeah, that was a good one. All right, let's try this one.
Well, I definitely did better with the second one than the first.
Okay. This is a thrilling ride. As soon as you approach, you'll notice that it has an eerie atmosphere. I can't say the next part. Let's see. The ride has a twist. It doesn't... Gosh, I can't say that either. It's exciting. Sure to get your heart pumping, it says.
Are you just using the official description?
No, I'm not.
At this point?
I'm not. Throughout the ride, you'll be transported to different dimensions.
Well, it's got to be Guardians.
Not quite.
It's not Guardians?
You'll encounter characters from the past, adding to the overall excitement and mystery of the experience.
Characters from the past.
So if you're looking for a thrilling adventure that's not for the faint of heart, this attraction is definitely one to check out. I can't say the main part will totally give it away, but...
Okay. What was that part you said about it does something through the past?
Yeah. Yeah, it says, throughout the ride, you'll be transported to different dimensions and encounter various characters from the past, adding to the overall excitement and mystery of the experience.
I don't think this is really a thrill ride.
Well, we called it the most relaxing ride.
Spaceship Earth?
No, at a certain park that doesn't have relaxing rides.
Star Tours.
No,
wait. That's right. Tower of Terror. Sorry.
Yes, Tower of Terror.
I was like Star Tours. Wait a minute. Yeah, Tower of Terror.
The part I couldn't talk that say that it said was guests will board an elevator that takes them up and down several floors. But beware, this ride has a twist. You'll experience sudden drops, weightlessness, and exciting thrill ride that's sure
So
to
you're
get
just
your
trying
heart
to
pumping.
you're just trying to give the not so obvious clues. I see. What was
Right.
one of the first ones you said? Erie. I should have gone.
Yeah.
I should have figured that one out. For some reason, I wasn't going along those lines.
Yeah, I
Because
said
when you immediately said thrills, for some reason, I was starting to think along the coasters again. But yeah,
Well,
I screwed that one up. That's one
yeah.
of my favorites too.
right. Well, I said, as soon as you approach the building, it says you'll notice it has an eerie and spooky atmosphere. But anyway,
Well, I knew it wasn't Haunted Mansion, so I should have gone that route.
a thrilling ride. I'm not going to say where it's located.
A thrilling ride. Okay.
It's a thrilling ride.
That's all I get.
Includes sharp turns, steep inclines, sudden stops, giving riders the feeling of, I can't say that part.
Sudden stops.
Yeah, it's too obvious.
Which one has sudden stops that has all those other things you said? I'm trying to think.
So when the ride ends, you see a display of different categories.
Of different categories.
Yeah. It's an exciting and interactive attraction that showcases the technology and innovation.
Okay, it's got to be Test Track.
Yes. It's too obvious. I mean, the first part was allowing guests to design their own concept vehicle and test it on the track.
Oh, well. And
That's
test
funny.
it on the track.
Right. That's why. So I told it describe Test Track without saying the attraction's name.
And they did it.
But it's yeah. But it said test it
On the
track. Very funny. This is another thrilling ride.
Is everything thrilling? Man,
takes-
Disney has a lot of thrill rides, apparently.
It takes guests on a wild journey.
A wild journey.
Sudden drops, sharp turns, high speeds. There's a detailed backstory about something
Everest.
cursed.
Everest? No?
No. To look like an old thing. This ride features
Big Thunder
interactive
Mountain.
elements. Yes, it is. I couldn't. The wild, I think, was the key word. Wild
Yeah.
journey.
A wild journey. The wildest ride in the wilderness. There's a story of something being cursed in Big Thunder. I'm trying to remember.
It says I don't know if this is accurate or not, but it says the attraction features a detailed backstory about a cursed mine, and it's designed to look like an old rickety train. This attraction, I can't say where. Whoa, that would have given it away.
So you can't say anything?
So, yeah. This ride has different scenes that feature audio animatronics. This ride
Is that
concludes. Yeah, I can't say.
Different scenes that feature audio animatronics. Well, let's see. That was like every ride that Disney used to have.
This is our current ride. It's still in operation.
They still have a lot of those too, depending on the park.
This will be too obvious if I tell you this, but
Okay, I'm just going to start guessing. Haunted Mansion.
it has narration.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
I said it has narration.
Excuse
The
me.
ride
Haunted Mansion does,
concludes with a view
but
of
Spaceship Earth.
yes, Spaceship
Yeah.
Earth. I mean, if I told you the first part, it would have maybe given it away. This attraction is located inside a large geodesic sphere with a symbol, which is the symbol of the park itself. Visitors ride in time traveling vehicles.
That might not have given it
scenes.
away.
What did it have?
There's other time traveling vehicles on property. Let's see. There's you technically travel through time on Guardians.
All right, last one for reals, and I'm just gonna read it when
For
it
reals.
says-
You're going to read it word for word, so this is
Yes.
going to be over in like 2 seconds.
Yes. This attraction takes guests on a thrilling simulated ride on the back of a flying creature known as a banshee. The ride simulates a journey through the breathtaking world of Pandora, as seen in the movie Avatar. Still
Navi
don't know.
River Journey.
Yes, exactly. That's it.
Flight of Passage, of course. But speaking of which, I got to thinking about this the other day when I read the title. Are we sure it's Navi River Journey? Because they're called the Navi.
Yeah.
So is it Navi River Journey?
Are
we
not
put
the river journey.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Nah,
But I mean, Navi. They're called
Yeah.
the Navi. They're not called Navi. They're not called the Navi. They're called the Navi. So we should really be pronunciating it Navi River Journey.
not Navi River Journey.
Right.
It's Navi River Journey.
Something like that.
Just like
yes, because
harmonious was.
I guess kind of.
That's how you're supposed to
But-
pronounce it.
Because it even had didn't it have the apostrophe or whatever in the title? So
Yeah.
Navi River Journey.
The Navi. Yeah.
That's just my thinking.
All right. Well, I think AI may have stumbled on something here. There's a little something here. It needs some refining, as always, but there's something there. And if you need to refine what we do and where we can be found, where would that be?
Well, I don't know about refining it, but you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's all at TWTM Podcast. There's a Spreadshirt store. We are exclusive TWTM merchandise. That is shop.spreadshirt.com/TWTM Podcast. And we have a YouTube channel, which you can find links to that where, Adam?
Our website, which is travelingwiththemouse.com. And you can email us podcast@travelingwiththemouse.com. And if you would like to have some assistance on your next Disney or Universal or cruise line vacation, our travel agent friend is there on our website as well. You can find her info there. So for John and AI, yeah, this has been Traveling with a Mouse. We hope you will join us on our next trip. Okay, here's a tagline send off for our podcast. Thanks for tuning in to podcast name. Until next time, keep insert theme or idea of the podcast. That's all for today's episode of podcast name. Join us next time for more insert theme.
What?
It's been a pleasure bringing you insert theme or idea of this on this episode of podcast name. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for joining us on blank and being a part of our community. Don't forget to insert call to action or reminder to subscribe.
We should say it just like that. It'd be like Joey and the
Right.
"Oh, I'd like to" long pause.
Exactly. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Podcast Name. We hope you enjoyed insert highlight or main takeaway. And we'll see you next time for more insert theme or idea.